so every single week without fail I get a DM that starts with, "Hey senior, quick question," and then it's never quick. It's usually 3 paragraphs about hostel, job, rent, and whether NTU is actually worth it. So instead of typing the same answer for the 47th time, I am just going to sit down, be brutally honest, and answer everything in one go, starting with, is NTU actually worth it? So if you are thinking about NTU or you are already in, then this is the video for you. So let's get into it. So quick context, I'm not just a random girl with opinions. I am an NTU alumni myself. I pursued masters in marketing and went through the whole thing, the hostel anxiety, the off-campus struggle, the why is the rent so high shock. So everything here is not theory, it's stuff I actually lived through and stuff that's still true for people messaging me today. And in this video I'm going to give you my truly brutally honest opinion about, is NTU Singapore actually worth it? Because everyone gives you a very polished answer. I am going to give you the real one. So stick around till the end, because the answer isn't a simple yes or a no. It depends on something most people don't think about until it's too late. Okay, so let me just say it up front. Yes, NTU is absolutely worth it, but, and there is a big but, there are a few things you need to consider before you make that decision, and before NTU looks worth it for your own personal life, especially around what your actual goal is, because worth it looks completely different depending on why you are going there. So let me break this down properly. Okay, so I say this to everyone that before going there, please have a specific goal in mind. Please don't go there just because you have seen other people's lives, other people enjoying their lives, all of that stuff. So firstly, you need to actually sit down and write why you want to go there and what your actual goal is. So some people have a goal to just experience the culture, the university life, and the network, and some people have a serious goal like getting settled there, getting a job, etc. So if your goal is to get a job and stay in Singapore long term, please consider this seriously. The job market is very, very tough. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying this because nobody told me this clearly enough when I was deciding. And getting a work visa has its own rules, and the bachelor's is also considered a very high level education, and students after their bachelor's also get really good jobs in Singapore. So if you plan on doing masters, then you should know that you would also be competing with bachelor students as well, because they would also be looking for a job. So most people after finishing their degree, they only get a chance to do an internship, not a full-time job, and then a lot of them end up going back to their home country, because converting that internship into an actual job offer is genuinely hard. So here's the thing though, you have a much higher chance if you have a very specific niche skill. Let me explain what I mean. So suppose if you're into marketing, just having normal marketing skills is not going to cut it. Everyone has that. What actually gets you noticed is something specific, something that's genuinely difficult for most people to understand or do. For example, programmatic advertising. Okay, I know you haven't even heard of this, right? And most of you must be thinking ki yaar ye kya word hai. So in my own batch I have seen this happen firsthand. A person with this one specific niche skill got a job so much easier than everyone else, because barely anyone else in the market had it, and recruiters weren't comparing him to 100 other candidates. He was almost the only option for them. So if your goal is the Singapore job market, my honest advice is don't go in with generic skills and hope for the best. Go in with a plan to build something specific, something niche, something that makes you answer to a problem instead of being one of those 50 similar resumes. Okay, so now here's the part that I think matters just as much, if not more. So even with everything I just said about the tough job market. You get the experience, the network, the people you meet. It is genuinely a lifetime of memory. I am not saying this as a cliche, I mean it. The discipline you learn there, being independent in a completely new country, managing your own life, your own money, your own deadlines, that changes you. And the group assignments, the late nights, the disagreements within your team, figuring out how to solve an actual problem with people from different backgrounds and cultures, that is the stuff that actually builds a version of you that a classroom back home just cannot build. So you come out as a genuinely different person. You are more resilient, more resourceful, more comfortable with being uncomfortable. So even if the job market doesn't go your way, even if you end up going back home like a lot of people do, you are not walking away with nothing. You are walking away with an experience and a network that stays with you for life. So my honest conclusion is, NTU worth it or not? Yes, I'll say it clearly, yes, it's worth it, but it also depends on your goals and your clarity of why you are going there. I would say sit down and actually ask yourself, what am I going there for? Is it achievable there? Is it realistic? Or it is just कि दोस्त गए हैं तो मैं भी जाऊंगा? So if your goal is a Singapore job specifically, go in with your eyes open about how competitive it is and start building a specific skill early. Don't wait till final year. And here is one last thing I want to leave you with. If life turns out different than you planned, don't get upset about it, please. Maybe you don't end up with a Singapore job, maybe you go back home, or you end up somewhere you didn't expect. That doesn't mean the experience wasn't worth it. The degree, the network, the person you became, that stays with you no matter where you end up. So that's my honest, no sugarcoating opinion on NTU. So if you've got any more questions about the course, the city, or anything specific, drop it in the comments. I actually read them all. If this helped you, subscribe. It really helps this reach more people asking the same questions I once had. And NTU is a beautiful campus to be in. The faculty is amazing and everyone there is amazing. I had the best time of my life in NTU. So keep your head clear, make wise decisions, have a specific goal in mind, and all the best. I'll see you in the next video.